Welcome to another episode of the Healthcare Marketing Mindset Rehab. I'm Kat Bai, and today our Mindset Rehab we're going to talk about is the why. We're going to start with the assumption that either you have a strategy, a marketing strategy in place, or your organization is not big on marketing strategies, which is a mistake, and I will talk about that in another episode. But today we're going to talk about marketing programs and the importance of the why and what that means to developing really solid programs that actually help you win and achieve whatever goals that you're focused on those particular programs. So starting with why, what does that mean? I want you to imagine a marketing program as a block of clay. That block of clay has so much potential. Let's say that block of clay is actually the initial goal that or the directive that you've got received. Let's say it's the CEO thinking, we want to sell more to clients. So I need you to make a promotion, or I want a promotion. So let's doing from the CEO perspective. I want you to create a promotion to sell more to clients. Now that's a block of clay because there's so much potential there. And really, if you don't whittle down and get to more of what the CEO or what's needed for the company, if you don't whittle it down enough, you might create the David when someone really wants something more like a Picasso. So starting with why, what that does is it actually allows you to set the foundation. You're going to ask why until you know two things. You're going to understand the destination, which means where the program needs to land. And then the other one is kind of like the guardrails, where you're going to stay within the program. And those two things will equal the foundation, and they will help keep you on track as you continue to build your program. So what do I mean? Let's go back to our example. You need to sell more or market more to your clients. Well, which clients do we want to market to? New clients? Clients that use a particular solution that you want to upsell? Are you sunsetting a particular product that you want to get them to understand a new solution? Do you just want them to renew their contract for the upcoming year? So whittling it down as much as possible will help you get the destination and the guardrails, in place. So this way you can really build a program. So once you do that, I like to think of these clay, blocks of clay. And I also think of a movie, City Slickers, and I always think of this, and I don't know why, was that one scene with Curly, Jack Palance, talking to Billy Crystal, and he's saying, what's the meaning of life? I don't know. You look so happy. Billy Crystal's telling Jack Palance, and he says, it's that one thing. And he says, you mean your finger? And he says, no. The one thing is whatever that one thing that you need to, create your happiness. And with marketing programs, you have to try to think of the thought of the one thing, because you want to stay focused on creating one block of clay at a time. So what happens is that you start working on a program for clients and someone says, you know what, I also want to sell clients whatever. And one other person says, yeah, and I want to sell a client this other thing. Those may be all to the client, but they are three blocks of clay that each have to be molded separately. There's different messaging, there's different focus. Now, maybe resources can be shared, the same, knives or tools that you're using to mold your clay, but they are still three specific blocks of clay. And once you think of that rule of one thing, and then you also remember to ask about whys, you the why for each, you will start to develop clear, crisp programs for each one of those thought processes. And what does that do for you? It allows you to ask for the right budget. So you need a budget for each of those projects. If you try to lump them up together, you may land up not asking for enough or allocating enough dollars for each program. It allows you to create the right KPIs, the right key performance indicators for each one of the projects. So this way you can tell which one is working, which one is not working, which one needs to be amplified, or which one needs to be put on the shelf. It also allows people to get on the same page with regards to the expectations of each one of these blocks of clay, each one of these programs. So when you take your mindset and you focus it on the one thing, creating a foundation, asking questions, get to the why to whittle away the thought process. So this way you can get as close as possible to a clear picture. So you're building the right program. And then once as a marketer, you identify what that program is going to look like, what the key performance indicators are, what the budget should be, what resources you need for each. You can then go back and, discuss it with the team, either if you're, depending on where you are on the marketing scale, if you're, reporting to the CEO or the sales, which I don't normally recommend that marketing report to sales because their functions are so different. We'll talk about that in another episode. Another reason you want to really get to the why and focus on one project at a time, it allows you to create a beginning and a middle and an end for each project. You can then learn how to segment your projects, because maybe out of the 3 blocks of clay, block number 1 is the most important. So maybe you need to put more resources and more time to that block of clay, that program. So thinking about and changing your mindset about marketing in that way really helps you get clarity on what it is that you have to create. Really gives you clarity on the programs you are creating. So this way it's not like this jumbled mess. And what happens is that it creates a lot of impossibilities. So this way your marketing team cannot be successful for you. And then they're not working hand in hand with sales, because they're all over the place trying to put little fires out and create little programs all over the place. Marketing must be very strategic. A strategic marketing mindset is one that looks at everything very clearly, looks at each project separately, and develops a clear program for each project. So my thought of the day is, get your marketing mindset in a way that allows you to think of the one thing, so this way you can have clarity and you can have ultimate success for every one of your projects.